Nearly finished, Lorne. The new play is brilliant. The sun is shining, my friends are adorable. Now what can I do for you?
Dingo has just sent over the accounts for Noel Coward Limited.
Oh, God.
There's good news and bad news.
The good first, please.
We're expecting some very large cheques in October.
Excellent. Unfortunately, today is the 3rd of March.
Now the bad news.
I shall not wince nor cry aloud.
We are overdrawn by £19,000.
Lorne, how many plays have I written and had produced since the war?
3 plays, 3 musicals, 1 review, 1 film, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Precisely. I work unceasingly.
Dingo has enclosed a sweet note advising us not to panic.
We shall not panic, but we shall economise. Cancel my account with Charbonnet and Walker.
A few boxes of chocolates will hardly make much difference.
A cream centre here, a cream centre there, it all adds up.
Lorne, no, sorry. I've got an importuning American on the phone. From New York, Mr. Joe Glaser?
I remember him, a nervy little go-getting agent. He turned up at the Café de Paris last summer.
He says he has an offer that Noel can't refuse.
I'll handle him.
I can handle him, Lorne. Mr. Glaser.
I've done the deal.
Which deal is that, Mr. Glaser?
Vegas. The Desert Inn. I've booked you into the main room. You open June 7th. 4-week engagement.
Mr. Glaser, as I explained to you in London, as indeed you saw with your own eyes, my material is sophisticated, my delivery quicksilver, my singing style idiosyncratic, my persona indelibly British. So I hardly think that a Las Vegas audience would be in the least responsive.
They'll pay you $35 grand.
$35,000 for the month?
Per week. Mr. Coward? Mr. Coward? Hello, operator? Operator, you gotta reconnect me.
Death at the Desert Inn by Marcy Kahan, a highly probable Noel Coward murder mystery, starring Malcolm Sinclair as Noel Coward, Eleanor Bron as his devoted London representative Lorne Lorraine, Tam Williams as his devoted secretary Cole Leslie, and Belinda Lang as his devoted friend Judy Garland.
Where are we now?
Nebraska.
That's what you said an hour ago.
Have you forgiven me yet?
For your shaky sense of geography.
For dragging you halfway across the world to witness what may be the most humiliating disaster of my career.
Las Vegas is reassuringly far from London.
The world is getting smaller all the time. When they boo me off the stage in the Mojave Desert, my enemies should be raising a glass in Piccadilly Circus.
And if that's how you feel, we must cable Mr. Joe Glaser at once and tell him the deal is off.
35 grand a week, Lorne. They can throw beer bottles at me for that salary.
In all the years I've known you, you've never done anything for money.
I've never needed to before now. But if I'm not careful, I shall end up in a bed sitting room in Battersea. A moth-eaten dressing gown round my knees, looking forward to my next cup of Ovaltine.
I adore Ovaltine.
So do I. Where is Cole?
He's found himself a window seat at the back. He's boning up.
A glossary of American English?
Gambling without tears.
Kindly remind him that we are going to Vegas to make a profit, not lose a fortune.
First, I need you to promise me something.
I'm listening, Lorne.
No espionage or detective work.
I can't help it if I'm versatile.
A great talent for nearly getting yourself killed.
I promise you, Lorne, I shall do everything in my power to remain alive.
That is not what I requested. Oh, you're going down.
It's called landing.
That strip of light.
Vegas. Fasten your seatbelt, it's going to be a bumpy month.
Well, Noel, what do you think?
Very lively, Joe.
Lively? The place never shuts. If you have the energy, you can gamble away your last dime, any hour of the day or night.
What are those mountains called?
Mountains?
They must be the Sierras.
Mrs. Lorraine, believe me, nobody in Vegas thinks about mountains. This is the Strip. You should have seen it 10 years ago. Nothing but shacks, sawdust roads, mangy dogs.
Travel is eternal curse. One always arrives too late.
Oh, come on. Look at these hotels. More neon than Times Square.
Ah, I love the tropical heat.
Me too.
I prefer the Buckingham Palace Road and a light drizzle.
You're kidding. She's kidding. The old deadpan, right?
Mrs. Lorraine has been known to succumb on occasion to the old deadpan.
It's my only defence against this American opulence.
I think it all looks perfectly luscious, Mr. Glaser.
I always knew there was the lotus eater in you, Colin.
Jeez, the way you people use the English language. Here we are, folks. The Desert Inn. You're home away from home.
With my name in 20-foot-high neon on the front lawn. Tremendous.
You can rest easy, Mrs. Lorraine. It's fully air-conditioned, 24-hour room service, TV and fridge in every room.
Oh dear, oh dear.
You're kidding. Wait, she must be kidding.
The old deadpan, Joe, you'll get used to it.
Lorne, another floral tribute.
Oh, let me guess. Long-stemmed roses from Marlena?
Do you think it was a good idea, Marlena, recommending that voice coach?
We shall find out this evening at 8:30.
Well, I intend to spend the afternoon in the casino, unless there's anything urgent.
No, that's fine, Cole. Gamble away.
Don't worry, Lorne. Joe Glaser has offered to show me the ropes.
My anxiety has just gone up a notch.
I'll give you odds of 6-4. That's a basket of wild flowers from the Queen Mother.
May I come in?
Oh, Miss Garland, what a delightful surprise.
Hello, Cole. Lorne. Now, you must tell me if this is not a good time.
It's perfect. Noel needs some diversion. He's been tearing himself to shreds all morning.
Ah, Professor Dixon. Breathe from the diaphragm, shut the mouth, moo like a cow. Works every time.
Did you train with Professor Dixon, Miss Garland?
Me, darling? No, I was born mooing, but every actor in Hollywood who needs to sing a song swears by Professor Dixon.
Lorne, where's my newspaper? Ah, good God, Judy, how long have you been here, darling?
I just arrived.
And I'm just going. Anything you need, Noel?
Stay away from those one-armed bandits.
Joe Glaser has volunteered to be his mentor.
Ah, that's all right then.
Stay cool. Have fun.
That boy gets more American by the minute.
How are you, Noel? I mean, really. I mean, you're opening in 8 hours. Look at all these flowers. It's like a funeral home.
The Lunts of St. Reef.
Well, darling, I can understand that. I mean, the Lunts they're high, the theater, whereas Las Vegas, the sleaze, darling. You have no idea. Now, I have some news, but I don't want you to worry. I just want you to take it in your stride, like you always do.
Go on.
Frank has chartered a private plane from L.A. for tonight. He's bringing Betty and Bogey and the David Nivens and the Joe Cottons and Zsa Zsa Gabor.
I think that is a magnificent gesture.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Now, you must excuse me. I have to rehearse.
Noel, you need a break.
I was about to take a break, Lorne. Then I heard that Frank Sinatra will be in the audience.
Oh, Frank isn't coming for your singing, darling.
How deeply unfortunate. All I was planning to do was sing.
You know what I mean. It's your material, the timing, the phrasing.
The resolute tunelessness.
Oh, stop it. Now I know the perfect place for lunch. It's 100 miles from the Strip, just burgers and the odd cactus.
The tech rehearsal doesn't begin until 5. It will do you good, Noel.
Can you join us, Lorne?
I'd better stay here. The flowers and the telegrams.
The absence of mooing.
I wish you a pleasant drive and a very long lunch.
Mr. Glaser.
How much have you lost so far, kid?
Oh, hardly anything. A few quarters in the slot machines.
Your chances are better with the ones near the entrance.
Why?
They pay better to lure the crowds inside.
Right.
Oh, and before I forget, when you take a taxi, especially when you're with Noel, even if it's a 30-cent ride, always tip the driver at least $1.
Okie dokie.
You get in the cab with your accent, the driver will expect a lousy tip. You surprise him, it'll be good for business. He'll talk up the show.
So you don't think Noel will bring in the crowds on his own?
To be frank with you, kid, when I saw Noel's act in London, with the room going wild, I didn't get it. I mean, I knew he had something.
Star quality.
Guts and determination.
Oh, he definitely has that.
He's gonna need it tonight. This is one tough town.
Noel can take it. During the war, he won over thousands of troops who were hoping for Betty Grable.
What did he do?
That's the great thing. He was just himself. He didn't play down to them.
That's a good gimmick.
Gimmick?
Come on, kid. Let's get you started at blackjack.
Now pay attention. Windows.
Marvelous.
Windscreen looks a bit murky. Voila. An instant car wash.
Well, how about that?
You prefer an open top? Hey, presto! al fresco.
This is absolutely fascinating, Noel, dear.
All right, I know. These robotic marvels are as familiar to you as cellophane and Tootsie Rolls.
That's true, darling, but you've made me look at them all with fresh eyes.
That dollop of sarcasm means that you are paying for lunch.
Miss Garland?
Uh-oh.
You've been spotted.
Miss Garland, excuse me for interrupting. You don't remember me.
No, I'm afraid. Wait a minute. Carol Ann Fleischman.
Not anymore. I'm Mercedes de Caruso now.
Are you? Goodness. Noel, I'd like you to meet the daughter of the best hairdresser MGM ever had. Noel Coward, Mercedes,
De Caruso?
How do you do?
I was so sorry to hear about your mother.
It was a big shock for all of us.
She was such a lovely woman. Are you here on holiday?
I'm a dancer. In the chorus of Sammy Davis's show at the Last Frontier.
I thought you looked familiar.
You mean you've seen the show, Mr. Coward?
2 nights ago, most impressive.
Really? I can't believe you just said that. I've had some lean times, but my luck is changing, believe you me.
Good for you, dear. I'll come to the show soon.
Oh, will you, Miss Garland? That would be the best evening of my life. Dancing with you in the audience?
I would never miss the chance to see Sammy.
Sammy! I'm in Sammy's show. Sorry, I must go.
Well, well, small world.
Why do you think she ran away?
Oh, she's probably late for rehearsal.
She suddenly looked frightened.
And I suddenly feel famished. Does this car actually go anywhere, or is it just for show?
For show, I have no idea how to drive it.
Keep to the right.
I'm feeling very British this morning.
Fine, darling. Keep to the left, and when a state trooper pulls you over, you can deal with him.
That's awfully generous of you.
Whiskey and soda, please.
Mm-hmm. You're not local.
Me? No. London. England.
You don't say. Some mighty fine literature's come out of your country.
Thank you.
Wordsworth, Keats, Shakespeare. You know Shakespeare?
Yes, of course.
You see? That's what's wrong with Nevada. Nobody reads.
There are many English people who don't read. Some of them have been to our finest schools.
You don't say. Floyd Hicks.
Cole. Cole Leslie.
Whiskey.
Thanks. Can I get you another?
No, better not. I'm not supposed to be drinking on the floor. I'm a croupier.
Blackjack. I was playing at the table next to yours.
Drowning your sorrows, huh?
Not exactly. The fact is, I won. My first time out, I won $500.
In that case, I can give you some advice for free. Quit winners.
Sorry?
Walk straight out of here, don't look back.
That's what Noel would say.
No.
Noel Coward.
You know him?
I'm his secretary.
You don't say. I've been reading about Noel Coward all my life. What's he like?
Oh, he's singular.
Nonconformist, huh?
In a way. He's a stickler for good manners, but he loathes pomposity.
You don't say. Listen, I gotta get back to the tables. Would you do me a favor?
Sure thing.
If you spot a brunette, 5'10", dancer's legs, swings her arms when she walks, let me know, would you?
Of course.
She stood me up for the last time.
Ah, I understand.
Look, my boss would break my arm if he heard me say this. Cash in your chips. A classy guy like you doesn't need to gamble.
It's just a bit of fun.
That's what they all say. Gotta go.
May I help you?
Is this Mr. Coward's room?
Yes.
Would you please give him this?
Oh, there must be some mistake. We're not missing any luggage.
Please, just take it.
I'm afraid I can't accept this until you tell me what it contains and who you are.
I'll explain later. Please, just give this to Mr. Coward.
Oh. Well, really.
Terrifically healthy.
A charcoal grill burger once in a blue moon won't kill you, darling.
I've been as good as gold recently. Nothing but a tiny amount of cottage cheese on a lettuce leaf.
You look marvelous. What have they signed you up for? 2 shows a night, 6 nights a week?
7 nights a week, a dinner show.
Oh, you know about the dinner show.
8:30 p.m. What else should I know?
Well, darling, it's quite literally the dinner show. I mean, your audience is there, tucking into their chicken pot pies and their baked Alaska.
While I'm up on stage singing my heart out.
Singing your heart out, and the forks and knives are clanging, and the plates are smashing, and the vino is flowing, and what can I tell you? It's Vegas, so most of the diners have been gambling all day, which means that most of them...
Have been losing all day.
Exactly.
Charming.
Now, the second show...
Midnight,
they've had their dinner, so there's no crockery to contend with, but this crowd have had another 3 hours at the tables where they've managed to lose their suburban bungalow and their children's college tuition.
And they've been drinking.
Oh, they're always drinking. And there you are, up on stage...
Singing my heart out.
Singing your marvelous, sophisticated song.
I get the picture. I'm about to experience, single-handed, with only myself to blame, the greatest debacle in my entire career.
Oh, no, darling. I didn't mean to depress you.
Admit it, Judy. This is madness. Look at me. A 55-year-old Englishman, positively reeking of urbanity, presuming that, like the sweet Lord Jesus, I can perform miracles in the desert.
If I were you, I would simply forget that your audience hails from Kansas, Nebraska, Utah, Illinois.
Nescafe Society.
Think of the show as a party, Noel. You're the host. Now, I happen to know you give wonderful parties. You invite people from all walks of life and make them feel special.
You're quite right. It's up to me to make Mr. and Mrs. Nebraska abandon their precious chicken pot pies.
That's the spirit. Oh, that's funny.
What?
Man over there at the counter. Don't turn around. He's looking this way.
Well?
I know him. He's a congressman. Nick Faulkner. One of Washington's new golden boys.
I've heard of him. He was in Time magazine. Handsome as sin.
Tell me about it. They say he's a contender for president.
So what's funny?
The people he's with. You can look now.
Point taken. But just because Mr. Faulkner chooses to drive out to a remote diner in the company of some Edward G. Robinson lookalike...
He's coming over.
Judy, I thought it was you.
Hello, Nick.
Of all the gin joints in all the world.
Nick Faulkner, Noel Coward.
Pleased to meet you.
Mr. Coward, I'm looking forward to your show.
Thank you.
We've met before, you know, but I was part of an adoring crowd.
Indeed.
You visited Yale in my final year with Cole Porter and John Wilson. I was one of the Whiffenpoofs. We serenaded you in the dining hall.
I remember you collectively. You were adorable with a wonderful sense of harmony.
What brings you to Vegas, Nick?
Oh, you know, politics. I'm doing a favor for a friend. Wish I had longer to chat to you folks. Perhaps we'll run into each other in town.
Let's hope so, darling.
Gotta run. Take care.
Charisma on toast.
Do you mean Nick, or are you ordering dessert?
I must get back. I need a bath and a nap before the deck. Fortunately, dear Lorne will have everything under control. What do you mean she refused to give you her name? You should have insisted.
She said she would explain later. Then she dropped the satchel at my feet and fled.
Well, I've no idea why she left it here.
Don't you?
Should I?
I assumed it might have something to do with your occasional espionage activities.
I am in Vegas to do a cabaret, not fight the Cold War.
That is a tremendous relief.
I'm going to have my bath. Notify reception that that was delivered to my suite by mistake.
I don't think we should do that.
Why not?
Because this satchel contains, and this is a rough estimate, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What?
See for yourself.
Crikey.
Who are you calling?
I know what I'm doing, Lorne.
The girl was terrified. We should wait until she gets in touch.
Hello? Reception. Would you please page Mr. Joe Glazer and ask him to contact Mr. Noel Coward? That's right. Tell him it's rather urgent.
Oh, jeez. Holy Mother McCree. There must be 300,000 here.
I wish I could report that it was a gift from a plutocratic admirer.
Mrs. Lorraine, the dame who handed it to you, what did she look like?
Tall, very slim, early 20s. She was wearing a headscarf and enormous sunglasses.
There are hundreds of girls answering to that description down in the casino.
This particular girl was shaking with fear.
Look, it's obvious this doe has gone astray, And the girl is trying to take advantage of the situation.
A cogent analysis. Now, I would be grateful if you would remove it, Joe.
I can't do that.
You mean these potatoes are too hot to handle?
Cole, please, you are not in a B-movie.
Now, Cole's right. The satchel is hot. The thing is, I got into trouble once. Chicago. Big trouble.
Narcotics.
Cole?
Sorry.
I've been legit for years. So I can't walk around the hotel with this in my hand, and I can't call the police because that's gonna annoy the people this money belongs to, and before you know it, I ain't gonna be legit no more.
In that case, Mr. Glazer, what do you advise we do with an unsolicited $300,000?
Hang on to it. Maybe it would be safer in the closet of your bedroom, Mrs. Lorraine.
If you think so.
Don't spend it all in one place, Lorne.
No, please. This is not a laughing matter. I'll make some inquiries. It might belong to the Guatemalans.
The Guatemalans?
I never said that. Forget I ever said that.
What about the Peruvians?
No, please. You're giving me heart palpitations.
My dear Joe, you're not the only one. I'm opening in 5 hours. Cole.
You okay?
I've just remembered something. Judy and I met a girl in the parking lot this morning. I'm positive she was carrying the satchel.
Should I tell Joe?
Not yet. Tell Judy I need to speak to her. I'm on.
Have you started breathing again, Lauren? Halfway there. No mishaps so far. They're absolutely loving him. And he's absolutely loving them.
Excuse me, Miss Garland. No one needs to speak to you as soon as the show is over.
Of course, darling.
It's about the you-know-what, Lorne.
Do you know what? Not now, Cole.
The maitre d' gave me this envelope to you, Miss Garland. He says it's urgent.
Tell the maitre d' that I'm watching the show.
But it might be connected to the you-know-what.
I don't know what the you-know-what is.
Shh. Better read it, Miss Garland.
Now I should like to sing you a
Bad
song I
news.
wrote very long ago.
It can wait till after the show.
It's called Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Oh, my favorite!
In tropical climes, there are certain times of day when all the citizens retire to tear their clothes off and perspire. It's one of those...
Ladies and gentlemen, that includes you, Tallulah. Before we all succumb to a well-deserved opening night bacchanal, I would like to thank Mr. Sinatra for chartering a very special aeroplane filled to the brim with very special people. I always knew that my Las Vegas debut was bound to be an experience both rich and strange, but the presence of so many talented luminaries has made it glamorous, thrilling, and above all, terrifying. Thank you.
No. Meet me in the bathroom.
I beg your pardon?
I've got news.
Ah, entendu. This reminds me of Moscow, 1939. Are you really afraid my bathroom's bugged?
You never know who may be listening at the door.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. She needs a mirror for her mascara.
I think I know who may be missing the potatoes.
Excellent.
Not excellent. Citizen by the name of Babyface Puccini. Funny name. Deadly guy.
Well, if the potatoes truly belong to Mr. Puccini, I would be more than happy to return them.
That's just it. Puccini will want to investigate how you got them.
I shall tell him the truth.
Mysterious broad dumps them in your suite. Puccini won't believe you.
I can live with Mr. Puccini's skepticism.
If Puccini doesn't believe you, you will not live.
Ah. What do you advise, Joe?
Look, you're the last person Puccini would suspect of getting involved with this. So you must not get involved.
No.
Not now, Coley.
Judy needs to see you. She's in my room.
You must excuse me, Joe.
You go. Enjoy yourself, Noel. Leave the dangerous side of things to me.
Hello, darling. Miss de Caruso.
Mercedes needs to talk to you, Noel.
And I need to talk to Mercedes. When we met this morning, Mr. Caruso, you were carrying a rather handsome leather satchel.
That's right.
You then went up to my suite. You handed the satchel to my secretary. She said you seemed distressed.
That's right.
The satchel contains $300,000.
Mercedes can explain.
Let's hope so.
None of this would have happened if I hadn't bumped into you and Miss Garland in the parking lot.
Go on.
I had an appointment with someone. I was supposed to deliver the satchel to that person.
Did you know what was in it, Mercedes?
I sort of did, and I sort of didn't. I mean, I had no idea how much.
What happened in the parking lot? You broke off our conversation somewhat abruptly.
That's because I saw another person, a person I was hoping to avoid so that I could keep my appointment with the person I had the appointment with.
And the unexpected sight of that second person prompted you to scurry up to my suite and dispose of the incriminating Luca.
Excuse me?
He means the money.
Oh, yes, I had to get rid of the money. But I'd like it back now, please.
Oh, dear.
You haven't given it to the police.
I've been advised not to call in the police just yet. But I'm told that a gentleman named Babyface Puccini has discovered he's missing a sum in the region of 300,000.
You know Mr. Puccini?
I'm afraid I haven't had the pleasure.
Well, it's okay, honest, Mr. Coward. That's who I'm returning the money to.
Carol Ann, what have you got yourself into?
Mercedes.
I don't like the sound of this one bit, young lady. Satchels full of dollars, men named Babyface.
I can't help it, Miss Garland. I just keep falling in love.
Now we're getting somewhere.
With Puccini?
No, what an idea. With Floyd, first of all. He's a croupier at the casino here. Floyd's very cultured. He got me to change my name to Mercedes, and he showed me how not to slouch. You know, I was self-conscious about my height, and he got me to read F. Scott Fitzgerald and Pearl S. Buck.
Higgins to your Eliza.
No, his name is Hicks. Floyd Hicks.
Well, all that sounds marvelous, dear.
It was for a while, but the thing about Floyd, he's terribly possessive. I mean, if we were at a coffee shop and I smiled at the busboy, I wasn't smiling at the busboy, I was just smiling, and the busboy happened to be in my range of vision.
Floyd would get upset.
He'd go berserk. It was very tiring trying not to smile at anyone. That's why when I met... Well, let's just say I met a very important politician. And he was so charming and so easygoing. I made him laugh. He wasn't in the least interested in educating me.
Nick Faulkner?
How did you know that?
Mercedes, am I correct in stating that when we last met you were delivering a satchel of money from Babyface Puccini to Nick Faulkner?
Well, yes.
But you unexpectedly glimpsed Floyd Hicks in the parking lot?
He told me he was spending the afternoon in the library.
Quite. And you couldn't allow Floyd Hicks, who was an honourable man, to see what you had in the satchel.
You're a regular mind reader, Mr. Coward.
Why did you choose me as your left luggage depot?
You have a very kind face.
See, Noel, it couldn't be more straightforward.
Mercedes, if I give you the satchel and you return it to Puccini, won't he be angry that you let it go astray?
No, not when Puccini hears that I only did what I did to protect the money. Nick had to go back to New York, but I'm going to be moving there real soon, so I can take it with me on the train.
You're moving in with Nick Faulkner?
Well, not right away. He has to tell his fiancée about us. Meanwhile, I can get myself an apartment, take acting classes.
What about Floyd?
Oh, Floyd. I love him like a sister. Really, I do.
How do we get the satchel to you without Floyd seeing?
That's the beauty part. He's on the early morning shift tomorrow. If you could drop it at my apartment before 11, I could get it to Puccini before Floyd gets home.
Agreed.
Promise me you'll be careful, Mercedes.
Oh, it's all going to work out beautifully.
Did you follow that?
Every word. It's better than a drugstore novel.
Tell me I shouldn't be worried about that girl.
You should be worried about that girl. I'm here for the next month. I'll keep an eye on her.
Come on, darling. I need a vodka.
I need 200 vodkas.
5,000 vodkas.
And one sublime cigarette.
So you met someone who set you back on your heels. Goody, goody, you met someone and now you know how it feels. Goody, goody, you gave him your heart too, just as I gave mine to you. And he broke it in little pieces. Hey, how do you do?
Good morning, Lonnie. Coley. The years of the spring and days at the morn, mornings at 7, the hillsides dew pearl.
Mornings at 7, indeed. Where did you spring from?
We thought you were having a lie-in.
I can sleep this afternoon.
What time did the last of the guests leave?
The stragglers were headed toward the casino at 5 a.m.
They were still partying when I went to get the papers at 7.
Anything in the papers?
Only Variety.
Good?
Afraid not.
Damn.
It's sensational. Las Vegas flipping. Shouts more as Noel Coward wows them in Cabaret Turn.
Is that the review?
That's just the headline.
Most gratifying.
Noel, what are you doing with that satchel?
I retrieved it from your closet, Lorne.
Why?
I'm returning it to its rightful owner.
Who?
Ask me no questions, and as I'm not going to tell you no lies. That will be Judy.
Hello, darlings.
Hello.
Goodness, this room is simply streaming with light.
Cole, the drapes.
Did you sleep well?
Sleep? We were all carrying on until dawn. That's when Mr. Coward abandoned us.
Can you ever forgive me?
Is that the famous satchel?
Miss Prism, eat your heart out.
We'd better go. Have you told Lorne and Cole the latest?
No time.
I gather the mystery has been solved?
Let's hope so.
Be careful on your way through the lobby.
We'll take the service elevator.
Nonsense. We shall travel by first-class elevator and damn the expense.
This is the street. Number 34 must be down there on the right.
We'd better go the rest of the way on foot.
Noel, are those police cars?
Yes. 3 of them. And a crowd of spectators.
What should we do?
You'd better stay here. You might be recognized. I'll mingle with the crowd and see what I can find out. Brace yourself, darling.
Mercedes?
Afraid so. She's been murdered.
Oh, no.
I managed to speak to a rookie policeman. The cleaning lady found the body this morning at 8. The police have already arrested their chief suspect.
Floyd Hicks?
The neighbors heard him and Mercedes having a violent row about 2 a.m.
Floyd must have found out about Mercedes and Nick Faulkner.
Obviously. We'd better get out of here.
Noel, thank goodness you're back.
You still have the satchel.
That is correct, Coley. I still have the satchel.
What's happened?
The girl who thrust it on you yesterday was murdered early this morning.
Who was she, Noel?
A dancer, Mercedes de Caruso. We drove to her apartment as arranged, intending to return the satchel to her, so that she could restore it to Babyface Puccini.
Who is Babyface Puccini?
I don't think we'd care to know.
We were too late. The police had the place cordoned off.
Did you tell the police about the money?
No. It might have been awkward explaining why we had kept it so long. And there's a prominent politician involved.
Who?
He's definitely a suspect.
You gave me your word, Noel. No detective work for the duration.
You were the one who accepted the hot potatoes in the first place, Lorne.
I know that. I regret it deeply. But the phone hasn't stopped. The New York Times would like an interview on your impressions of Las Vegas.
Heat, space, noise, excess, intrigue.
Better not mention intrigue.
Life magazine wished to photograph you in the middle of the desert, dressed in a dinner jacket, holding a teacup.
Why not? It'll make a splendid Christmas card.
Goddard Lieberson from Columbia Records would like to record 3 consecutive shows, then edit them into a long-playing record.
Terrific. Yes to all 3. Now, I'd better hide this infernal satchel in your closet, Lorne.
I'll come with you. There's safety in numbers. Do they have any idea who murdered Mercedes, Noel?
They've already arrested someone.
Mr. Babyface, you know who?
No, her insanely jealous boyfriend, Floyd Hicks. He's a croupier in the casino here.
Floyd Hicks? I know him.
Oh.
I met him yesterday in the bar. He's a big fan of yours.
Just what I need, a homicidal fan.
I can't imagine him murdering anyone.
Why not?
He doesn't look very strong. He's mad about poetry, and he's a croupier who doesn't approve of gambling.
One of the enigmas of the human condition, Coley. The most sensitive and literate among us may suddenly snap and lash out.
Well, it wouldn't hurt for us to talk to Floyd, hear his side of the story.
As Lorne would tell you, that's what his lawyer is paid to do.
But what if he's innocent, and the police intend to pin the rap on him to get an easy conviction?
Here, you take care of the potatoes. I need to find Judy.
You mean you're continuing with the case?
Of course. Some things are more important than show business. Whatever you do, don't tell Lorne.
Look, I don't understand this. What are you all doing here?
We met yesterday, Mr. Hicks, at the Desert Inn. Mr. Coward heard you'd been arrested, and he told Miss Garland.
The desk sergeant is a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz, so he kindly allowed us to see you.
I remember Mercedes from when she was a little girl.
You knew Mercedes?
I knew her mother. She would bring Mercedes to the studio. She was a very solemn little girl with huge eyes.
Mr. Hicks, Floyd, we thought perhaps we could help you.
No one can help me.
That depends on you. Have they provided you with a lawyer?
I don't want one.
Does that mean you're pleading guilty?
I'm not guilty.
I knew it.
What happened last night, Mr. Hicks?
I knew Mercedes was two-timing me, only I wasn't sure who with. Last night she comes home. She's overexcited like she's been drinking. She tells me she's been seeing this congressman.
Nick Faulkner.
You know him, too?
Miss Garland and I have both met him recently. Please go on.
Mercedes claims Faulkner's in love with her. He's moving her to New York. I tell her he's stringing her along, but she wouldn't listen. Look, I was real mad. I can't deny it.
You lost control?
No. I was yelling my head off. We both were. There was this pounding on the back door, so I start shouting, "If that's you, Faulkner, you better not come in here." But Mercedes, she says, Faulkner's gone back east. That must be Babyface Puccini with his gang. What does Babyface want with you? It's about the money, she says. What money? The money for Nick. Well, by now, whoever it was stopped pounding. They're broken a window. So Mercedes says, "Look, I need to talk to them. They mustn't know you know about this. Go out the front and meet me at the diner on the corner in half an hour."
When did you find out she was...
Well, I waited at the diner for nearly an hour. I was scared. I knew I shouldn't have left her, but then another part of me was saying, "You're a sap. It's not Babyface she's with, it's Faulkner. We're both in bed right now laughing at how they've outsmarted you." So I crept around the house. It was dark, and when I peered in a broken window, there she was.
Did you go inside?
I went to work. The early shift at the casino. I just concentrated on dealing the cards.
So you believe that the killer was Babyface Puccini?
A person doesn't make statements like that in Vegas and expect to live.
Simply nod your head if the answer is yes.
There are other suspects.
Indeed.
Maybe a certain congressman wasn't going over to Mercedes' place to sleep with her. Maybe he was there to play a goodbye scene. Maybe the scene turned nasty. Oh, you're a playwright, Mr. Coward. You can imagine it better than I can.
No. No? Are you trying to get me killed?
Not consciously, Joe.
Your secretary has no idea where you are. Meanwhile, you're spotted this morning in the lobby with Judy Garland emerging from the elevator with the satchel.
And what, pray, is so unusual about that? Judy is a great friend. This is a hotel. Hotels, by definition, have elevators and people emerging from them at all hours of the day or night carrying satchels.
Babyface Puccini knows you've got the money.
Ah.
He wants it back.
Tell him he can't have it.
He'll kill me. Then he'll kill you.
Tell him he can find me in the steam baths.
The steam baths? Are you nuts? Your name is at the top of the list in Puccini's pocket.
Excellent. I look forward to meeting him.
Mr. Coward, what an unexpected pleasure.
Mr. Faulkner, I thought you were in New York.
I still have business in Vegas. What a triumph you had last night.
Were you there?
The midnight show. I wish my fellow Whiffenpoofians could have joined me.
Are you still in touch?
Most of them are on Wall Street. I rely on them for my campaign.
Expensive things, American political campaigns.
Oh, it's easy if you're Jack Kennedy with Papa Joe the bootlegger behind you.
Can't you rely on your own silver spoons?
My parents didn't have 2 nickels to rub together.
According to Time magazine, you may be president one day.
I sincerely hope so. Though, God knows it's complicated.
You need satchels full of money and the appropriate wife.
I've been engaged for a year now. A Park Avenue girl, Scarlett O'Hara waist, Mary McCarthy mind. She's in Venice, researching Giorgione. If I win the nomination, she's going to have to promise me she will never mention Giorgione again.
A noble sacrifice. Is it my imagination, or is the golden boy of American politics depressed this afternoon?
I'm pretty low. Some bad news.
Mercedes de Caruso.
How many other people know about me and her?
I have no idea. Were you in love with her?
Have you read the Kinsey report?
I've scampered through it.
Sex can be very complicated.
And your looks, it shouldn't pose much of a problem.
Well, that's just it. I'm not merely voracious. I'm omnivorous.
Indeed.
What about you? Have you ever been confused sexually?
Never.
You always knew you were...
Always. You haven't answered my question. Were you in love with Mercedes de Caruso?
God, no. She was a great kid, though.
Any idea who killed her?
She had a live-in boyfriend with a mean temper. Case closed.
She told me you had promised to break off your engagement and live with her in New York.
The things we have to say in order to get laid.
You didn't merely get laid. You found yourself a first-class courier for your campaign funds who lost her life trying to help you.
There's a rumor going around that you have the suitcase, Mr. Coward.
Who killed Mercedes?
If I were you, I would surrender the suitcase and get on with enjoying your latest triumph.
But you are not me, Mr. Faulkner.
Wait, what are you doing after the midnight show?
Scrambled eggs in bed with my 2 secretaries and Judy Garland.
What?
You heard me.
You're turning me down?
Emphatically. But I know you won't take it personally, Mr. Faulkner. You never do.
Tennessee Williams, self-taught, does it? Kinsey with a deafening report, does it? Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
4 shows down, my darlings, a mere 52 to go.
Don't count them. It's bad luck. What happened this afternoon, Noel?
Joe Glazer informed me that babyface Puccini knows that we have the satchel.
He wants it back.
Well, who can blame him, darling?
Why don't we give it to him and return to our own humdrum, cosmopolitan, decadent lives?
Because Floyd is still in jail, wrongfully accused of Mercedes' murder.
We're not absolutely certain of that. He may be lying.
That's true. But so long as we have the satchel, Puccini will be trying to communicate with us.
Communicate? Gun us down in the lobby.
You have a lurid imagination, Lorne.
You think your celebrity makes you invulnerable?
I think my detachment makes me invulnerable. 3 suspects. Floyd Hicks, prone to jealous rages, possibly murderous ones. But I have my doubts.
Babyface Puccini. Well, the name says it all, really.
Precisely. From Puccini's point of view, Mercedes failed utterly in her job of courier. He murders her pour encourager les autres.
To what, darling?
To discourage others from stealing from the mob.
You said there were 3 suspects.
Nick Faulkner. He has a blue-chip political reputation to protect. Mercedes' failure to make a clean delivery of his dirty campaign funds, not to mention her romantic delusions about him, would make her eminently killable.
Killable?
It is 2 o'clock in the morning, Lorne. I have done 2 shows back-to-back brilliantly. I am allowed to say killable.
But Nick is in New York, darling.
Nick is in Vegas. He never left.
What should we do next?
Ever heard the phrase, a good night's sleep?
Oh, I'd much rather stay up and do some detecting.
Me too.
No. Lorne is right. Nothing more to be done tonight. So long as we have the satchel, they are bound to stay in touch. Whoever you are, I would strongly advise you to go away at once.
No?
Coley, you nearly gave me heart failure.
Sorry, I couldn't see whether your light was on.
Why are you lurking outside my bedroom?
On the way back to my room, I felt someone was watching me.
Did you actually see anyone?
No.
Go back to bed, Cole.
Hands up, or I'll shoot.
Mr. Hicks, this is a private bedroom in a private hotel suite.
Where's the money?
First tell us how you got in. I'm positive I shut the door.
You didn't shut it the whole way. I've been watching you.
What did I tell you, Noel?
You've been nervous as a bird.
What sort of bird?
Give me the money.
Nervous as a bird. I've heard of happy as a grig.
You're always saying that.
That's true, I am always saying that.
Look, just give me the money, and I'll go.
My wallet is on the table. I'm afraid it only contains about $40.
I'm here for the 300 grand.
Where would Noel get a sum like that?
Babyface Puccini said that Mercedes gave it to you.
So Puccini's been to see you.
Give me the money.
Did Puccini get you sprung from the slammer?
What?
Try talking English, Coley.
Did Puccini get you freed from jail?
Where is it? Under the bed?
Really, Floyd, I can see that it sounded like a good idea at the time. You obtained the satchel for Puccini in exchange for your freedom. But it's not really you, is it?
You're an honest man, Floyd. You know you are.
Shut up!
The last thing we'll do with a gun pointing at our heads is shut up. Now think about it, Floyd. Puccini probably killed Mercedes, the great love of your life. He saw to it that they pinned the blame on you, and now he's trying to get you into even deeper trouble.
Demanding money with menace.
Thank you, Cole. My dear Floyd, put down the gun. If I were you, I'd leave Nevada. Find yourself a nice, leafy university town.
This is your last chance.
No, kiddo. This is your last chance.
What?
Okay, cowboy, put down the gun. Get your hands up.
Cole and I had the situation well under control, Joe.
Tell it to the Marines.
Noel, Coley, is everything all right?
Just fine, Lonnie. Do you know this fellow?
His name is Floyd Hicks.
Okay, Floyd Hicks. Are you insane prowling round Noel's bedroom with a gun when he's just done 2 exhausting shows and he has 2 more to do tomorrow and the day after that?
Command me nothing. What you know, you know.
What?
He's taking refuge in silence. Act 5, Scene 2 of Shakespeare's Othello.
Come on, Hicks. Let these people get their beauty sleep.
I've got his gun, Joe.
Well, point it at him, kid. If he tries anything, shoot him in the leg.
Oh, we'll do no such thing.
Come on, Hicks.
All right. So, that was Floyd Hicks.
Yes.
The suspect you thought was innocent.
I still think so. He was sent here by that scoundrel Puccini.
Right. I'm sleeping on the sofa in your living room.
Don't be silly.
No, really. If Joe hadn't come up here to check on us...
You take the bed. I'll be fine on the sofa.
Maybe we should move the bed into the living room.
Only one gun-wielding intruder per night, Lorne. Even in Vegas. Why am I doing this? I have 300,000 in cash. I could pay off the overdraft, then head for the green hills of Jamaica, and nobody would ever find me. Oh.
That was the best one yet.
Oh, think so?
Joe says the management is ecstatic. Your songs make everyone feel so good they go right back to the casino.
Hooray for me.
Are you all right?
You and Lorne are driving me around the bend.
What have we done now?
This endless solicitude.
Joe says that as long as you persist in hanging on to the you-know-what, you're an obvious target.
So it's Joe who's enlisted you both as overzealous nursemaids.
We're just trying to be on hand in case anything happens.
I wish you would try being a little offhand.
No, are you all right?
Too late, Lorne. I'm quite dead.
Is he being difficult?
Impossible.
10 minutes of solitude. That's all I ask, to have a shower and a cigarette and a silent meditation on my earth-shattering success.
Will you keep the door locked?
I shall keep the door locked.
Then you may take your shower in peace. Mr. and Mrs. Ira Gershwin are waiting for you in the bar.
Thank you. Tell them I will be out shortly.
Noel, are you sure you don't want me...
Arrivederci, Coley. Mr. Faulkner.
I need to talk to you.
This is a private shower in a private dressing room.
May I sit down? I've been hunched in here for hours. My back is killing me.
Serves you right. Come on. Get out of there.
Thanks.
Cigarette?
Thanks.
What can I do for you?
You know how much I admire you.
What do you want?
You are wrecking my political career.
I am indifferent to your political career.
Babyface Puccini wants his money back.
To give to you?
Possibly. Assuming I can convince him that Mercedes and I weren't planning to abscond with the funds.
Who killed Mercedes?
Her killer is safely back in police custody.
How convenient for you.
You think I killed her?
Mercedes knew too much. You made her promises you had no intention of honoring.
Mr. Coward, really? Is it likely that I would endanger everything I've worked for with a sordid murder?
You told Mercedes you were returning to New York. You stayed in Vegas and watched the midnight show. Then you drove to Mercedes' flat in the early hours of the morning.
Is that what I did?
You were nervous about the satchel. She said it was in safe hands. You knew that wouldn't satisfy Puccini. Mercedes reminded you about New York. You rebuffed her. You couldn't disguise the contempt you really felt for her.
Contempt? I was crazy about her.
She became hysterical. You hadn't gone over there with the intention of killing her.
We did hypotheticals in law school. They're great fun.
Mercedes needed to be silenced.
Maybe she did. But there are people in this town who could have done that more effectively than I.
Are you saying that you arranged for that wretched, deluded, lovely girl to be murdered?
That's something you will never know, Mr. Coward.
The first rule of playwriting. What's left unsaid is always more potent.
The first rule of politics. Always leave the guns to the pros.
Finally, a covert confession.
At the time of the murder, I was in the casino, losing nearly $2 grand at craps, roulette, and poker.
How lucky for you.
No, everyone's waiting.
Come in, Judy.
Cole and Lorne are getting the heebie-jeebies. Hello, Nick.
Judy, I apologize for monopolizing him, but I couldn't leave Vegas without saying goodbye.
So you're finally leaving town, Mr. Faulkner?
The overnight train. My associates will be in touch.
You have just watched the murderer walk out of here scot-free, darling.
Shouldn't we stop him?
He's single-minded, self-obsessed, ruthless.
Well, really, darling, you're describing every man I've ever fallen for.
With a cast-iron alibi.
So what can we do?
I need to make a few phone calls. Then tomorrow, you and I shall take a little drive into the desert.
Why?
Those delicious hamburgers.
I'm world-weary, living in a great big town.
I feel as if I'm in a movie.
You are now. Mr. Puccini has just come in.
Is he alone?
Yes, but rest assured he has the place surrounded.
Has he seen us?
He's trying to stare me down.
You're sure it's Puccini?
Here he comes.
I believe you picked up that satchel by mistake.
Not exactly.
Hand it over.
Not yet. Care to join us? This is Miss Garland.
Miss Garland. I am your biggest fan.
Well, that's just swell, Mr. Puccini.
No names.
Sorry.
Would you care for a burger?
My doctor forbids it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I assume French fries and milkshakes are also prohibited.
I'm not hungry.
Really? I'm always hungry. Oral, what's it called, Noel?
Gratification.
That's it. Cigarettes, drinks, those little cheese squares on Ritz crackers.
Canapes.
Don't you just adore canapes?
Enough persiflage. The satchel.
On one condition.
I admire your chutzpah. That means nerve.
I know, a fine old Italian expression.
Who said I was Italian?
Puccini?
No names. What is your condition?
Floyd Hicks.
Nebbish. That means non-entity.
I know. I would like you to get him released from jail.
Why should I do that?
Because he's innocent of the murder of Mercedes de Caruso.
Oh, is that so?
You know it so.
My friends tell me you are a show business legend.
Your friends are terrifically sweet.
You know my friends?
Noel is a genius.
Darling.
No, it's true, Noel. Everyone says so. He's been a star since 1930.
1924.
He wrote and acted in this amazing play called The Vortex in Chelsea.
Hampstead.
How old were you, Noel?
24.
And ever since then, I don't think there's been a year when he hasn't given us something marvelous.
Is that so?
Compulsive creativity. I can't stop.
So why should a show business legend care about a nebbish?
Ordinary human decency.
What's in it for you?
A warm glow when I'm tucked up in bed at night.
Okay. I'll rescue the nebbish. The satchel.
One more thing.
Careful. I am not a patient man.
Nicholas Faulkner.
Who?
An up-and-coming Washington crusader. Has he told you about his plans to investigate organized crime in the gaming and hotel industries?
What?
Mind you, it's doubtful he would have mentioned that to you. Not until he's re-elected.
Son of a bitch! Nobody double-crosses Puccini.
The satchel.
Thank you. I wish you both continued professional success.
And the same to you.
From your mouth to God's ears.
You okay, darling?
Happy as a grig. Now remember, none of this happened.
Of course, darling. Nothing ever happens in Las Vegas.
Where are we now?
Ireland.
There's Windsor Castle. Look, Lorne, masses of clouds.
Oh, wonderful.
Say what you like about Las Vegas, Lorne. It was an adventure.
Adventures are overrated.
At least we quit winners. Good old Vegas.
A curious adolescent town in a curious adolescent country.
So you won't miss it?
I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I'm richer, wiser, and unrepentant. I like America.
Death at the Desert Inn, a highly probable Noel Coward murder mystery, was written by Marcy Kahan. Noel Coward was played by Malcolm Sinclair, Lorne Lorraine by Eleanor Bron, Cole Leslie, Tam Williams, and Judy Garland by Belinda Lang. Joe Glazer was played by Jake Broder, Mercedes de Caruso by Meredith McNeil, Nicholas Faulkner by Peter Swander, Floyd Hicks, Nathan Osgood, and Babyface Puccini by William Hootkins. The director was Ned Shire.